Fat acceptance is stupid. The idea of a movement that openly encourages people to make unhealthy life choices is completely idiotic. Now granted, I don't condone fat shaming. Going around bullying people is always wrong, and contrary to what many ignorant people think, it does not solve the problem of fatness. In the same way that telling someone who cuts themselves that they're a terrible person won't get them to stop cutting themselves. So I can understand why people want to fight against fat shaming, but with the fat acceptance movement, they're taking things to an opposite extreme. While telling someone that they're a terrible person for being fat won't get them to lose weight, telling someone that morbid obesity is a natural and healthy thing definitely won't either. Imagine if a person had heroin needles sticking out of their arms and a bunch of people started telling them it was beautiful and that they should keep doing heroin and not try to get help. The only way I could see fat acceptance working is if they were only referring to the people with a health condition, to the point where they literally can't lose weight healthily. But like all SJW movements, it starts with something reasonable and positive, but then degrades into something arbitrary and disastrous. So today we're going to be taking a look at a trailer for an obscure documentary film known as Fattitude. Let's begin.
Unless I'm fat, then burn me.
She got real fat on me, so I was like, ew, bye.
I'm Ross's little sister.
Okay.
It's rare to see fat bodies positively portrayed in the media.
We rarely see snorting coke portrayed positively in the media too. I think I remember hearing that it has something to do with it being an unhealthy life choice, or something along those lines.
I think fat is conceived as monstrous because we're taught these things from a very early age. Monsters and ogres.
You do know that Shrek was the protagonist of those films, correct? That's why they named the freaking movies after him.
And people who threaten you and people that you should be afraid of.
No, it's not that people are threatened by fat people, they're just aware that being fat isn't healthy.
Or on the other hand, we'll see characters who are characterized by their fatness and then made to seem as victims of, cruel society.
Isn't that what the fat acceptance movement is pretty much about?
Now you have brought the curse down upon your heads.
Her curse is that she has to be a fat lady. Her curse is that she looks like me. And I'm supposed to show that to my kids? I'm supposed to show that to my kids and have them internalize that narrative? No. Scooby-Doo, you're dead to me.
Well, Daphne does tend to be vain sometimes. If they had her curse being dressed up like a nerd, that wouldn't make being a nerd a bad thing.
And the contradiction of don't eat this, don't eat that, don't eat this, don't eat that, with watch us cook this, watch us do that, watch the new restaurant show, watch the new cooking show, watch the new food. The food thing is intense, man.
Then change the freaking channel. There's a lot more on TV than just cooking shows. Or are you scared that you're going to see something making fun of fat people? On top of that, learning how to cook something doesn't necessarily make you fat. On the contrary, if you know what you're putting into your meals, knowing how to cook them is a good way to lose weight. Just find a recipe that doesn't have too many calories.
But they always show the headless bodies. And they're saying, are you telling me that this person is healthy? And I said, well, you don't know. You cannot know any more than looking at someone with a BMI of 19, whether they've got cancer or whether they're healthy. You can't know.
So, because a skinny person can get cancer, that means that being fat isn't unhealthy?
And of course, all the fat kids hear when it's the fight against obesity that they're trying to get rid of us, trying to get rid of us, trying to get rid of us, trying to get rid of us.
I am going to take up traveling to different dimensions to find the one that provides adequate conditions for that statement to be serious. No one is advocating putting fat kids in concentration camps and gassing them. That'd be like saying if you're part of the fight against cancer, you're against cancer patients, which couldn't be any farther from the truth than it is.
Cultural elites value what is rare and difficult to attain, and in times when it was difficult for people to gain weight, fat became the valued body among upper classes. In this time when, thinner bodies are more difficult to maintain, and more valuable, they become much more the currency.
While that is true, it doesn't change the fact that being fat is unhealthy. And in our economy today, moving out of the house has become excessively difficult too. But I wouldn't advocate glamorizing the idea of living in your mom's basement for the rest of your life.
And the word fat, I just think it should be illegal to call somebody fat.
Man, SJWs sure do hate freedom of speech, don't they? Now in her defense, this was during an interview, so she might have just said something stupid in the heat of the moment. But unfortunately, I can't offer the same apology to the people who made this trailer. They knew what they were doing when they edited this. If they didn't agree with what she said, they wouldn't have included that part.
There's nothing negative in the word fat unless we put it there.
Type 2 diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease, kidney disease, and cancer are not things we put there. All of those things are biological realities when it comes to being fat. Those things will not disappear from people simply ignoring that they exist. For that matter, if there's nothing wrong with the word fat, then why do you want it to be illegal to say it? Now look, I'm not saying that being fat makes you a bad person, but there's a difference between loving yourself and accepting everything about yourself. Just look at Josh Peck. He started Drake and Josh while he was a relatively chubby guy. Being fat didn't stop him from succeeding in life, but that didn't stop him from losing weight either. And saying that we should outright accept fatness is ignoring the problem. The first step to solving a problem is admitting that you have it. Ignoring it never helps. And that's pretty much all I have to say on this matter. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video.